Okay, so here's a question that I had once, and it's Juan, if you were a realtor, if you were selling your property, what would you look for in an agent, right? Like knowing what you know, what would you look for? And so the first thing that comes to mind is that I would ask an agent if they work in real estate full-time or part-time. The reason for that is that the Miami Association of Realtors has more than 50,000 licensed real estate agents. Having said that, more than 90% of them do the business part-time, right? Barely 10% of the licensed real estate agents are full-time agents who actually make a living off of real estate. So whether you're a teacher, a nurse, a police officer, an engineer, a physician, a dentist, chances are you do your profession full-time, right? In real estate, unfortunately, it's very common to find somebody who has a real estate license but works at the airport, or has a real estate license and also sells insurance, or has a real estate license and also drives Uber. If you're really good at a job, there should be no reason, and you'd have probably no time to try to do one or two or three other professions. And so I think you could probably agree with that. So anyway, so I would definitely look for somebody who is 100% in real estate. This is their full career. Hopefully they've done it for a good little while and they have some experience. And that's what I would look for. Additionally, I would ask them for some proof of their work, right? How do you sell properties? How do you market properties? Some client reviews, some client references, right? And a true professional should have no problem providing that information to you very quickly and very easily. And as a matter of fact, like we usually always give it up front. I mean, you don't have to ask for it. We always provide it right up front. So if you ever meet with us, you probably would have seen our Google reviews in advance. And even when we meet, we'll still take, a number of client references with phone numbers and emails. They're the real live clients who that you can call and contact and see what their experience was working with us. And so I would look for something like that. Frankly, I know that in Miami, it's not very common. And in my recent experience working with different vendors, sometimes frankly, I'm more often disappointed. But what you can definitely expect from us is that level of hopefully confidence, right, in the work that we do. The other thing that I would do is, in looking at their work, is sometimes it's pretty obvious, right? Did they take good pictures or are they kind of not so good pictures? I'll give you, like, we always take professional pictures, right? We always take a minimum of 35 pictures of our listings, right? And that's a bare minimum. Usually it's a lot more. The maximum is 100, but we'll take a lot more. But if we're selling like a studio in a building, we'll take at least 35 pictures between the interior, different angles, the amenities, aerial views, like the works, professional pictures. Why do I say that? Because you'll know whether you're working with a professional or not, or whether you're sitting in for or interviewing or talking to a professional or not, just by the pictures. In my experience, I mean, there's a lot of realtors who, frankly, you can tell that they didn't even get out of their car to take their pictures. How do we know this? Because sometimes you can see a portion of the mirror, like in the shot. Or they'll come out and take a picture of the bathroom, and you can see them in the mirror going like this with their cell phone. I mean, come on, don't. So anyway, I know that that's pretty obvious and it sounds ridiculous, but it's very, very common in Miami. So I would probably look for that. That's where I would start. And then lastly, I would look for somebody that is organized, that's presentable, that communicates well. Why? Because your agent, whether it's hopefully it's me or somebody in our team, but even if it's somebody else, that person is going to be representing you and your property, and they're going to be communicating with other humans and other professionals, attorneys and loan officers and title companies and other realtors, and they need to do a good job, right? So if that agent doesn't communicate well, if they're arrogant, if they're obnoxious, if they're abrasive, think about how they're going to come across to other humans that they're going to need to interact with and hopefully attract to your property so that hopefully they can sell your property for top dollar. So that matters. When we sell properties, when we do a transaction, we will always ask you and all the other people that were involved, typically the title company, the loan officer, sometimes even the other client, for a testimonial. We are always looking for feedback on their experience working with us, with me, and with our team, right? Because that's very important. And I'm very, very almost obsessive about this, right? And I want to know that everyone had a good experience. Sometimes, things go wrong, and even when there's challenges, that is a good measure of how we respond, right? If everything is smooth, then that no problem. But if there was a challenge and we handled it well, many times people will, tell us, Juan, we had a difficult transaction. There was a issue with title or the loan or the financing or something, and it was a pleasure working with you, right? And so you should look for somebody where hopefully they give you that feeling that if things went wrong, that they could handle it, that they could manage it, that they're good at communicating. And anyway, so I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to how I expect our team to be in representing you as a client, and that it gives you a little bit of clarity. And if we obviously would love to have the opportunity to work with you, but if you decide to work with somebody else, I would expect you to hold them to that level of standard, because it is possible and you can definitely expect it from us. So anyway, hope you find this helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to send us a message. We're happy to clarify, and I will see you in another video.